Ukrainian and Russian officials met in the German capital for talks on ending the conflict in eastern Ukraine. But nearly 9 hours of talks on Thursday failed to produce a breakthrough on signing a joint document. However, both sides have agreed to keep talking. Talks with French and German officials aimed at ending an 8-year separatist conflict in eastern Ukraine. But the lack of progress marked a setback for efforts to defuse the crisis. The conflict in Donetsk and Luhansk region simmers on despite a notional ceasefire.
Так, сьогодні є позиції, які треба узгоджувати, але є, ви знаєте, саме головне, що є воля продовжувати і є воля домовлятися. Це головне, і ми будемо продовжувати це робити.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov accused Ukraine of trying to rewrite the 2015 agreement, also accusing Kiev of cherry-picking only the elements most advantageous to it. Now Ukraine says that it is committed to the accord. Ukraine rejects Moscow's assertion that it has nothing to do with the conflict. Kiev said that Russia has forces inside Ukraine fighting alongside the separators.
Позиция Украины непреклонная. Отказались в этом документе, проекте заявления, который был предложен для рассмотрения, отказались даже цитировать Минское соглашение о том, что вопросы будущего постконфликтного статуса этих территорий должны решаться в консультациях и обсуждениях с представителями отдельных районов. Это ключевое разногласие, которое Украина отказалась согласовать.
Following the build-up of its forces near Ukraine, Russia held military exercises in Belarus and the Black Sea. Ukraine also staged war games, which will run until the 20th of February. In a new point of friction, Ukraine criticized Russian naval exercises. Kiev said that it was part of a hybrid war, adding that the exercises had made navigation in the Black Sea and Sea of Azov virtually impossible. Fearing an invasion, the United States urged Americans in the country to leave immediately. The advisory came due to increased threats of Russian military action. Leaders on all the sides are still hopeful that diplomacy could still prevail. Visiting NATO headquarters in Brussels, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson called the current conflict Europe's biggest security crisis for decades. Johnson said that the most dangerous moment in the West standoff with Moscow appeared imminent. While in Poland, the British Prime Minister warned that if Russian troops were to invade Ukraine, there will be bloodshed. However, Johnson added that diplomacy is the way forward. Poland's Prime Minister thanked Johnson for sending troops to the country.
Were Russia to be so foolish to make the catastrophic mistake of invading any part of Ukraine, the Ukrainian army, which themselves number about 200,000, maybe 150,000 in reserve, they will fight. And there will be bloodshed. And I think everybody in Russia must understand that.
The European Union has accused Russia of trying to divide EU members. Brussels said Moscow is sowing division by seeking individual clarification on international security. Lavrov had specifically asked the countries he approached replied in their own name and not that of the EU. EU's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell, said that he answered on behalf of the entire European bloc, but Borrell insisted it was up to EU members to decide how they want to respond now. In an effort to reduce the chances of miscalculation, the United States chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff spoke with his Belarusian counterpart. The officials agreed to keep the details of the rare telephone talks private. Meanwhile, amid heightened tensions between NATO and Russia over Ukraine, the United States Air Force's B-52 strategic bombers landed in Britain for scheduled NATO exercises. The deployment comes amid fears that Russia is planning to invade its pro-Western neighbor Ukraine. Further mounting tensions at Ukrainian borders, Russia on Thursday rolled its tanks across Belarus, conducted live fire drills that drew ominous warning from the NATO and added urgency to Western efforts to avert a feared invasion. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.